Damn, this bro thinks I am so naive.
Puts you a lot further apart and in a good way from other people who might be applying to the same role.
You need to learn to be able to be by yourself.
Don't let everything like get to your heart.
You don't need to be on the same train to get to your destination. I am Mahdia.
And I'm Agony.
Welcome back to episode 17, I think. Before we get started, how are you, Vani?
Tired, very tired. Senior years are very
Tired?
tired.
Yeah,
How are
it's
you?
crazy, and I'm okay. A bit freaked out with everything that's going on in the world. Um,
Yeah, I feel you.
it's actually insane, and it kind of
Yep.
ties into what we're going to talk about today, which is like basically the pros and cons of studying abroad. But like things can really change. Like it's crazy. I was thinking about it last night. On like all of this started on like Saturday, right? For Saturday for me. Like Friday was like normal, like nothing, and then it's like crazy within
In one
like a few
week,
hours.
not even a week.
Yeah, it's
So
almost
much
a
happened.
week. This Saturday,
Yeah,
in 2 days, it'll be 1 week.
yeah, crazy.
It's insane. And on the
Yeah.
topic of like everything happens for a reason, if I decided to go to Dubai, I'd be
Mm,
stuck there. I'd be in the
yeah,
crossfire. It's
yeah.
crazy. So trust your gut, people. If I was there, my parents would be stressed every night before going to sleep. It's crazy.
Mhm.
I remember last year when they attacked Qatar, the bases in Qatar. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then it like ended in like 2 days. But this is like going on now for almost a week.
Bro, on my social media, all the content I've been getting is how to prepare for World War III.
It's crazy. But I don't know. I don't think I was having a conversation with my cousin yesterday. I don't really know if this will actually break out to a World War III.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think it's gonna go in the,
Yeah.
but
I
like who
feel
knows?
like
Jinx it either.
yeah, again, we don't know. But like I feel like world leaders now, I don't think they would want it to get that far. Like you can even
Yeah,
like look at the pandemic to scale how much damage the pandemic did. How much damage a world war would do is just next level. So yeah. Also, we already went through a pandemic. We don't need to go through like my high school years was a pandemic. My university years did not need to be a world war.
but I don't need a war happening in my senior years. No, thank you. I've got enough on my
Yeah,
plate.
oh my gosh. And I want to fly out within the next month. And I'm like, what if this doesn't end? And then I can't take, like, I'm going to have to take another airline and another route. And it's just insane. Is studying abroad worth it? The pros and the cons, basically, the things that you're going to gain, but also the struggles and, just the in betweens. Um, a lot of social media do romanticize it, and the people who do romanticize it don't always speak about the hardships. Like Borderless, they still speak about all of the struggles and like how much effort it actually goes to into going abroad and being abroad. And there are parts of it that can be romanticized. Like I've definitely had my fair share of moments or days where it just like it feels great and it's like the perfect day. So you will get there, but at the same time, it's not only that. I would honestly say it's more worse than good sometimes. So you have to prepare and you really have to decide if you want to go overseas because the entire process I'm realizing is just it'll get you questioning yourself, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's a really big change as well as to what you're used to. So it's going to be hard to adjust. And although there are the pros, there are also cons. And you have to consider whether you think that you'll be able to live through those cons as well as those pros, because the cons do get like really bad sometimes. Think about your capacity and how much you're willing to push yourself.
Yeah, and you can look at this outbreak as an example to where there are students in the UAE. They didn't plan to be getting attacked by the US, right? They didn't even, nobody would have even expected this to happen, but there are students there who are now stuck without their family. They can't leave. All of this is happening. You don't know what's going to happen. So you need to really prepare yourself that you can manage it on your own, that you'll be able to deal with. Obviously, this is a bit of an extreme situation, but you have to be able to deal with these situations similar on your own. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm sure even the students in the US that like traveled abroad are pretty scared too. Like you never know when they'll decide to just send a bomb over to retaliate against the US. And obviously it could hit like universities or like
Yeah.
civilians. You never know.
Yeah.
But again, this is like an extreme case in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
context.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's something that you should avoid definitely for that reason. Yeah.
No, but it's great. Yeah, it is true. Students around the world now who are in countries close to the Middle East, um, it's starting to broaden out a bit. Spain might be getting involved.
Yeah,
Turkey
and
almost got hit.
Europe got a drone hit by
Yeah, NATO and like you really don't know. So students right now who are alone, even if they aren't within the Middle East, they are in similar countries around it. Like it's insane. It's crazy. Like I have friends in Egypt who were talking about it, and they were like they're just praying that nothing happens because Egypt is so close, um, that it just like stays within its range. But yeah.
Yeah. But again, that shouldn't be your sole reason.
This is very extreme. Instagram exchange students, I guess you can put it, or international students, you can put it in like a bubble. People who only show the good, and it's very natural on social media. You only show the happies and the smiles. Yeah, let's start off with the pros because let's start in a happy place. We're going into war and all of that.
Uh, we're not
Let's.
going to war.
I mean,
Don't
we're
you?
talking about. Oh, God, the conversation is going into war. Um, let's swap and go to a bit of a happier place. Being independent, going overseas, getting those new experiences. It's all you can be independent anywhere, right? But being overseas, and I've heard people say this who have moved, once you have moved on your own, you've experienced that on your own, you can do anything, honestly. It's such an extreme level of a thing, and I know it seems so surface level of you're just moving to another country, but you're doing everything on your own. You gain this independence that nobody else can even comprehend to think that you have. Like I literally went to one of my aunties this weekend, and her husband was speaking to me about university and everything, and I was like, damn, this bro thinks I am so naive. Like it's crazy the amount of things that people here tell me to do and whatever I already know and I already do because I've been through it. I know it. Like I'm more independent and I have more knowledge on these topics than they may think. So like you really are gonna gain that level of independence that people won't even know you have. Like so many people here, even like my close family, they obviously assume that I don't know these things, but because I've been through it and I've done this move and I've become so independent, I am not as naive as like, I'm not saying people here are naive, but like as other people, teenagers my age who are here.
Yeah, I get that. It's kind of like they do look out for you by saying things that are precautionary. And there's definitely benefits to it. Like sometimes you don't know things, like that's completely okay. But going abroad means you come to those conclusions and you form those opinions yourself. You are able to learn firsthand. You're not just learning off what they've taught you, but you're able to practically learn it, which is always more like beneficiary because you end up having those ideas and you end up having those experiences and you'll see what works for you and what doesn't because not everyone responds to the situation the same a situation to the same that's the same. So this you can carry on to wherever you go with this, and it's gonna support you throughout your entire life, and then you can be the one giving out advice to the teenagers
Yeah,
who really.
exactly. Yeah. Um and also like I would say you grow up faster than others, which does give you a bit of a gain compared to them, because you're starting your life in a way on your own so early, whereas like in my community, in my culture, most people only really start their own lives like once they get married, because for us like you get married pretty young, or like once they like get a job like 20, 25. So you really are getting that step ahead compared to everyone else. which is going to help you because then you're just learning quicker and before everyone else. When with anything that you do, you make mistakes and you learn from them. Nothing is ever going to go perfect. So if you start this process earlier of becoming more independent, you're going to be able to implement what you've learned in later experiences. Whereas if you didn't experience that, then the experiences that you then have, you'll have to learn from them and it won't go as smooth.
Like in India, a majority of the families are very, very supportive towards like their children's education, and they're very protective over their children because that's just how it is there, right? They're very family centered, which means that no matter how old you might be, your family still sees you as a child, meaning that you're protected. You're unable to make those mistakes that you would make outside and learn from them. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I'm not saying that it's good either. Whereas in Australia, as soon as you're 18, most parents don't pay your university fees. You have to pay that off yourself. You are responsible for literally everything after you're 18. It's just a cultural norm here, a majority of the time. Because here, that expectation of, them being your child doesn't mean that you have to pay for their college or you have to support them even after they're an adult. Once they're an adult, it's their responsibility. And going to another country means that you get to experience that too, and you get to make those decisions and learn.
Yeah, and it is a culture thing. In some other cultures, as soon as you turn 18, as soon as you graduate from high school, then it's like you're on your own.
Mhm.
New cultures, another pro when you are overseas, and we've spoken of our cultures so much um in so many episodes, where
Uh-huh.
you're gonna meet new people and you're gonna experience new cultures, and you might honestly find that some other cultures compared to your own sits better with you. You could prefer some other culture traditions and ways of life that just stick to you. Like, I've been so many places, there are definitely so many parts of so many people's culture that have stuck with me, and like I still do unconsciously now, like on a day to day, like it's just part of me.
Mhm. That's actually very true because I've got a bunch of cultural things that I do that are very Indian and things that are very Australian. And it's not completely one or the other. It's pretty mixed. It's just things you grow seeing. And like when you also go overseas, you get so many new experiences, and oftentimes these experiences are actually really good for when you form your resume, start going to get a job, because it shows that you know what's happening. It shows that you've got all of that knowledge and puts you a lot further apart and in a good way from other people who might be applying to the same role.
Career wise, you're gonna get a step ahead. I think that I definitely, being in Malaysia instead of South Africa, I'm gonna be able to get more experiences from it. And also, the system is just different. Like, for example, to study psychology in South Africa is so much more different than studying it overseas or in Malaysia. That says it's so much more beneficial for me to study in Malaysia because of how different it is. So that's another thing that's good to research. Like, for example, here in South Africa, you really need to get your bachelor's and your master's in order to go forward in psychology. Whereas overseas, in other countries, it's not the same. So if you do have a specific career in mind and it is more difficult to pursue within your country, researching how it is in other countries so helpful, because you'll see that with what you specifically want to do, there are more benefits elsewhere.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. Research where, okay, so you've obviously got a career or a goal in your life that you want to achieve, I'm assuming. And depending on that, figure out where the best place is for you to have the best opportunities to achieve that goal, right? For example, me, um, if I want to do something that's like related to international law, I would go somewhere where the program is specifically towards that, is known to be very good for it. Hence why I want to move to a different state, which supports my education in that way. It gives me the networks, it gives me the contacts, it allows me to step ahead in my future career without even actually being in that career yet.
You aren't going to find success immediately, but it definitely opens so many more doors. And if you take those steps to actually try and pursue a better education, try and get better opportunities, you will find them. But then again, that is up to you. Like, we speak about the new cultures and being independent. Going overseas to study definitely gives you these opportunities, but it's you who needs to decide that I'm actually going to do this. I'm actually going to be independent and find out how to work this thing, how to cook this, how to do this. I'm actually going to step out of my comfort zone and speak to people of different cultures and learn about their different cultures. I'm actually going to step out of my comfort zone and get those career opportunities, try and find a cool internship. So you have to have it within you. And that's also the thing of, do you actually want to study abroad or not? Because if you're not willing to do these things, then you should think about it properly, because if you're getting this opportunity, you should really use it to the fullest.
But also, if you don't get those, like the success straight away, it doesn't mean you give up. It doesn't mean, obviously, you'll feel disheartened, you'll feel sad, but it doesn't mean you dwell on it. This is also a great way for you to build resilience and perseverance. You can move forward from that. You learn from it and you do better next time. Everything does happen for a reason. I think that's become our motto. So if you don't get one thing, it's okay because something better is coming for you. It's just not the right thing for you at that moment, but something better will be there for you. You know?
And in the end, like, if you're a first year, if you're just starting, like, you're there for like what, 3 4 years, you are gonna be learning so much. You're gonna be making so many mistakes. It's actually crazy. You're gonna be going through so many ups and downs, especially on your own, with school, with life, with friends. It's all just gonna be a bundled up thing. But within those 4 years, remember, it's not, if you are in your first year and you haven't gotten there yet, if what we're talking about, you haven't found that friend group, or you haven't really stepped out of your comfort zone, you still have time. You have time, and within that time you will see that how much you can benefit. Like, 4 years is a long time. I was thinking the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I graduate in 2030. 2030, I'm gonna be 23.
Whew, that's kind of old, Nadia. That's kind of old.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's chill. It's chill. It's chill. But I realize in Malaysia, like, a lot of my friends who are in like their first year now, or like, no, their second year, they are like 20, 21. So I'm like, okay, with them, I'm not behind. But like, it's crazy.
Dude,
2030.
I won't even be an adult when I graduate from high school.
Yeah, that's how it is for some people. Like, one of my friends, he went to uni when he was like 16, and he did this thing that's like a foundation year. And then he started his degree this year when he's 17. Like, it's crazy. Like, you're in university
No,
and you're
I'll
only
be I'll
17
be
years
an
old.
adult when I start uni, but when I graduate high school, I won't be an adult yet.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This friend of mine
That's
study
crazy. That's
university at 17.
crazy.
But then, like, I have other friends who study university at like 20. And that's another very
Yeah,
diverse thing with
not
overseas
linear.
universities, is that age. Really, you're going to find people within your class who are maybe 17, and also who may be like 20, 21.
Or
Like, it's
50.
very vast. There's definitely a lot of self growth. There's a lot of opportunity, not only career wise, but personality, personally, your personal life, meeting people, making connections, those friends. If you like, oh my gosh, I people, if you when you're immediately done with that year with them, or like you graduate high school and you don't see those people again, when you're in university, you decide to go to study overseas and you graduate, don't unfollow these people. Don't be like, well, you're no more in my life. Bro, keep the connection. People who do that, they honestly annoy me, because why? I'm
I'm
not
thinking
saying
that. I'm thinking of doing that.
no. Okay, but high school is different. Okay, but like, if you're in university and you made these connections, you met these people who are doing similar majors to you, who want to do similar things to
It's
you,
always
and
good.
then you cut them off, bro. I guarantee you they can help you in the future, whether it's advice, whether it's, them being in this country and you're being in the same country, whether it's meeting up and like, it's crazy. Just don't cut people out. Don't cut people out. Don't,
You never know.
if it's someone who really pisses you off and like someone who you didn't get along with, fine, fine, fine. But if someone who like middle ground, mutual, like friendly, happy birthday, happy Christmas, Ramadan Mubarak, whatever. Because that's something you're gonna meet so many people and get their numbers, get their LinkedIn, get their Instagram. I'm not gonna say networking because that sounds very this it
I would
sounds
say
very
network. I
yeah,
would
but
say
like, make
I'm moving
friends.
to networking.
Make friends, but network with your friends, network and make friends. And yeah, yeah,
I
I feel
get
like
everyone
networking sounds like I'm
it's
using you. That's
a
why.
great thing.
But doesn't networking sound like I'm using you, like I'm networking?
No, because they also benefit from you.
That's the biggest pros, I would say. And then cons, I would say there's definitely more cons. To start off with, the loneliness, like we said, students overseas right now are probably feeling scared and lonely. And even if you have your friends, it's not the same. And that's something you have to it's something you have to be able to do, is you need to learn to be able to be by yourself, to enjoy yourself, um to enjoy your own company, to find hobbies that you can do by yourself. You shouldn't be relying on going out and having that Instagram, TikTok-esque um overseas experience. You need to also be thinking about how there are some days where you're just going to be in your room, chilling, relaxing by yourself.
Honestly, it's not a problem for some people, like me included. I spend most of my days, if I could, I would spend every single day in my room 24 hours bar 7, but I can't, unfortunately. No matter how much of an extrovert I might be. So,
But like then there's also like the people who maybe in high school were very social. Like in high school, I was very social. I was speaking to my friends almost every day. And then when I came here, I had to learn how to like chill with myself. I started knitting because my friend is having a baby. So new
aw,
hobby of mine. I was like, I'm gonna make a baby blanket. I'm gonna make a cute little baby beanie. So you just have
aw.
to find something. Like I never in my life thought that I'm not the type of person who knits. My personality, if you know me, I am not the person who knits. I'm not someone who crochets. Like that's not me. And now, so like really, also don't be
Do it
close
now.
minded. And we've spoken about financial pressure over and over and over again, and it's a big thing. And Borderless also speaks about it, whether it comes to visas or just loving.
It's an inflating world, unfortunately. Everything is going up in terms of prices. Petrol has gone up in Australia, all of Australia. Petrol in the north
Yeah,
right now costs 4 cents per liter, and it used to
yeah,
be
I
right
read that yesterday. But then that's also because of what's happening right now.
yeah, but in like in general, the inflation in Australia has been really, really bad. The economy not the greatest. And unless you're going to a country that's like super well doing like super well economically, you've got to watch out for those costs.
The loneliness, the financial burden, the financial difficulties, and then also,
Feeling
um,
out of place, like we've mentioned.
yeah, feeling out of place, and time zones with your family is insane. Like people who go from Asia, like there's so many stories on Borderless where people go from Asia to the US, and I'm like, that's a huge time difference. Or even Australia to the US. That is an insane.
It's
Um,
huge,
it's
genuinely.
absolutely huge, to the point where in the morning it's like morning for you, but then it's night for them. Like you really can't figure out to match up your time
Yeah.
zones and when to speak. There's
It
so
also becomes
much.
harder to travel back because you have very different holidays as compared to what they might have. And
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
free, they might be free. When they're free, you might not be free. So
Exactly. So you just need to expect. You can't expect it to be perfect. You can't expect to hold every relationship that you have right now when you go. You can't expect to be. You just like you need to be in your own. You shouldn't be in your head too much. You know, if you get really busy, if other people get really busy, it's just how life is, and ups and downs, you guys will both get really busy, and then you'll be able to catch up and talk again, and you'll get really busy and won't talk for like a few weeks. It's just a road, and you need, just honestly, I say, if you just prepare for nothing to be perfect, if you don't take those shocks, if it doesn't shock, oh my gosh, when things come your way, as long as you don't overreact, as long as you take it in, accept it, and let it be, you'll be fine.
what Mad is trying to say is that
Thank
if
you.
something goes
I'm
wrong,
fasting today, by the way. That's why. Also,
yeah,
keep that
yeah,
in mind.
yeah, I thought so. So what she's trying to say is if something goes wrong, although it can be difficult, if you try to move on rather than stay within that same spot and overthink it, it's always going to be beneficial because, things come and go. You can't ever expect life to be a smooth ride. So, that resilience again, you build it over time and you learn and you move on and it's part of life. So, yeah, be ready for anything, but also don't let everything like get to your heart.
Yeah, don't constantly think, okay, this isn't gonna go right my way. This isn't gonna go right. This isn't gonna go right. Just go with the
Think
flow.
positive.
If it happens, it happens. Yeah, you really need to. If When it comes to
Honestly,
the cons of living overseas,
the way I manifest is by thinking everything is going to go right. I literally think, "Oh, I'm gonna make it. Like, I'm gonna be the best. It's gonna
yeah.
happen."
And then
It happens. It
when you
happens.
reach those bumps, you take it and you
It's
move
okay.
on.
Brush it off. Brush it off.
What
There's
was
so
I
much.
watching the other day? I was watching Crash Landing on You, the only K drama I've ever watched in my entire life, and I love it. And there's a saying, and the girl says, like, you don't need to be on the same train to get to your destination. You can take
Yep.
different trains. If
Yep.
a bump comes up, you take a different path and you can still get to where you want to go. You just have to take it and move on. You shouldn't be hyper.
Yep.
And if you can do that, then you are set for all everything that's to come when living overseas. But again, it's sweet and sour. It's great and it's not great. There's a middle ground. You're learning, you're experiencing it, and once you're done with those, once you come over those bumps, it's so great and you have so much fun. And I can 100% tell you that it's not going to be picture perfect all the time, but you will have those moments, you will have those days, and it might not even come in the first year. Like when I was in Malaysia during high school, those days really only came like the second year, when you're more comfortable, when you figured it out, when you've like gotten used to the lifestyle. It really does take a while to settle in, and you'll get there, but like it's so great. So just you can't be a negative Nancy or whatever, Downy Debbie, or those things people say. Yeah.
For
Yeah,
once, I
there's a
do.
middle ground.
For once, you're not too old.
You're going to be growing, you're going to be changing, and it's going to be so great for you, and you're going to benefit from it so much. But and again, wherever you are, if you are overseas, if you decide to go overseas, or if you decide to stay, either way there are going to be bumps in the road. You just have to decide how you deal with it. You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you react. Yeah, you just need to truly think about who you're going overseas for, why you actually want to go overseas. Ask yourself all of those questions, and yeah, but you can do it. You can really do it. It'll be difficult. It definitely will be difficult. But if you're willing to face those difficulties, then you'll be absolutely great. So yeah.
No matter what kind of a person you are, going abroad will definitely shape you in a way that no other experience can, because you can only go abroad once. There's only one type of experience there. But if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. If you want to do it, you can. So,
Yeah, studying in your own country is completely fine. And like
yeah,
Avani
nothing
has
wrong.
said this
I want to
earlier,
do that.
like if you want to do your masters overseas, like do your bachelor's or your first degree in your country and go overseas, like for your
It's
next.
expensive, dude. It's expensive to go overseas. Like, there's a reason. There's a reason I want to go for masters and not for undergrad.
Yeah, so just research, and it's okay if you want to go overseas later on in life. Going for your first degree is not the end of the world. If you go in your 20s, that's also great. You're not a teenager, you have a better grip on life. So if you feel like you
Also,
are the type of
if you
person who
go
is more
for a
even
master's,
prepared.
you always have that advantage of being able to settle in that country.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
have like extra specialization in that country, right? So you're obviously going to be a top candidate.
Yeah, so think about what you want. Think about, if you just want the experience, then think about what you can benefit from going now or going later.
Also, if you want an experience, you can always do a what's it called? A exchange program.
Yeah, and we could definitely do an episode on that
Yeah.
on another
I've actually
time. But
talked to a couple of
that's
people who did exchange, so we can.
very helpful. Very good. Okay, yeah. Um, that is it for today. I think we got some good points.
Hmm.
Um, Happy Ramadan to anyone who's
Happy
celebrating.
travels to
Oh
anyone who's celebrating.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And hopefully everything ties up in the Middle East. I really hope the next time we record, everything is chilled out. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and hopefully everything is calm and finished.
Bye bye.